Are you tired of the same old sports media? Are you tired of hot takes, arguments, and questions that are just completely off base?
Luckily, we have something for you. Touchdowns and tangents. Of the people, for the people, by people who care about the culture and all concise commentary. Hey, you out there. Want some culture concise commentary? Want some co-hosts who actually are authentic and real? You can tell that they actually have some type of chemistry going on? Hate cloud chasing? That's cool. I actually got something in mind for you. So keep listening. You'll find out.
This is Touchdowns and Tangents, your weekly spot for NFL takes, culturally concise tangents, and context for the culture.
What's up, good people? Live from the Touchdowns and Tangents house in Hawthorne, California. I'm PD Camarillo.
I'm Kenneth Frank James Bartholomew Berry. I had way too much fun doing that, by the way.
And we're on the Zoom link with Nikki's cat. What's up, Nikki's cat? She's connecting the audio. We'll let her connect.
There's a smelly cat joke there, but I hate the show Friends, so I'm just not going to make it.
Why do you hate the show Friends?
Because it's fucking unfunny.
Wow.
The funniest moment of Friends
Criminally hot take.
The funniest
I'm a
part,
pro Friends person.
Living Color was much better. And
I mean, In Living Color is a good show too. But
it's literally the fucking...
you mean Living Singles?
Living Single and In Living Color, but Living Single literally that's the blueprint for the show Friends. They just said, "Hey, let's do In Living Color, but with all white people." They were in New York with all white people. There was 2 black people on Friends, and they were back.
I don't know.
Are you serious?
I've heard that take a lot.
For people on the show, I don't know if we were like really close to syndication, and then they brought out the white version of our show and then canceled our show.
Yeah, like I said.
Fox literally was built on the back of black shows. Martin.
Like I said.
Malcolm and Eddie.
I like both shows. I like both shows for different reasons. I think there are some similarities.
I like the character dynamics, and Phoebe's honestly the funniest character on the show, but it's still
it was different
vanilla because there was a bunch of white people in New York.
I feel like they didn't live in an apartment. I feel like they lived in a house. I feel like more of them lived together.
They lived in a brownstone.
No, we're talking about
Living Color. They live in a
Single.
Living Single. They live in a brownstone. I'm pretty sure.
I don't know what a brownstone is.
It's like a brown checkered, it's a brown brick building. Like an old school.
Yeah, but they had like a second floor and stuff.
Yeah, they did.
Yeah, so it wasn't just a.
And I'm pretty sure
2-bedroom fucking apartment.
And what if Friends and Living Single took place in the same apartment complex?
No, that would be a show. Again, this is why you should do screenwriting, like we said earlier.
Fun fact: my first major that I picked in college was. I was going to be it was radiologic technology. However the fuck you say, I was going to be a radiologist. And then I changed my mind. Yeah. Because my mom was in the medical field. I knew a bunch of shit. I was like, I'll go into radiology. Plus, I've seen my x-ray and I've seen how horrible my foot is. Somebody has to walk these kids through their horrible injuries and be like, it's going to be okay. My foot doesn't
Honestly,
work
the radiologists are always the nicest people at the hospital.
They are. Because
they're the only people that don't feel like they hate their lives but got too much money to walk away.
They take pictures of people's body parts all day and tell you what's wrong.
I have lore on them actually. According to Will, they're the only people that have free.
That have what?
The only doctors that have free time.
Free time?
They're so nice. They're so nice and chill because they have free time. They get to go home and see their family sometimes. So
yeah,
makes sense.
In a different multiverse, I'm a radiologist doing a podcast,
and they still make 300+ K. So
yeah, I was on that track. Damn, I fucking chose journalism like an idiot.
So what's the people that aren't doctors?
Well, technically, radiologists don't have to be doctors.
That's what I mean.
Not all.
What do you mean?
You could be.
So I know some of them aren't all. They're not all doctors. Like, what are the people that help them?
You're just a rad tech.
What?
I just know about like these.
You're just a rad tech. That's all you are. You're just a radiology. Like if somebody's coding, they call you, but you're not really doing shit. You're a rad tech. That's it.
Well, so yeah, I don't know. I'm not even pretending like I'm a fucking hospital expert.
I've been in the hospital with broken bones way too many
that
times. I talked to a rad tech because I thought I was going to do that with my life. And then I ended up picking screenwriting as my second major. I was actually a film major at Elko because I wanted to tell people stories. And then I, watched The Bicycle Thief and learned about the origins of film and all that shit. And then I realized, no, I actually want to do journalism because I walked on at the newspaper and I started writing. And then I covered a Gardena City Council meeting. And then I was hooked for life after that. Allegedly the best work.
Thanks for your fucking life story and 2 variations of it that nobody asked for.
I mean, you said you should you should write a screenplay, and I fucking did in college. Actually, it was like a 30-page screenplay for a screenwriting class that I had.
That didn't count for credits.
No, it counted. I got an A in the class.
We're talking about the seesaw ones you took.
Well, everyone I ever meet is like, yeah, I wrote a screenplay. Like I feel like every single person ever has done that.
Oh yeah,
I did. I took some too. Honestly.
Yeah, you probably
until I found out
No way.
I didn't get any credit.
Am I the only person on the planet who didn't write a screenplay in college?
Yeah, you are. You had nothing to say.
Yeah, I would have made my minor like
I'm joking.
Writing, like screenwriting, but it didn't count for any credit.
Because the CTVA, because they're like it's the same department, but it's like, well then,
but
help
like,
me double
we don't
major.
do anything with them or talk to them or like take any of their classes.
And they have better equipment.
They're like, no, it's the same exact thing, and I'm like.
It's not. It's literally not. Journalism and film are 2 different fucking things.
Anyways.
Is that the piece that you're like, the screenplays that y'all wrote, or is that like the piece of writing that y'all were most proud of in college?
No. It was just something that we started doing, fucking around, and half class assignment, half fucking around.
The shit that I wrote, I was proud of at my JUCO. Because like my teacher was like a screenwriter for the film.
The best shit I ever wrote was in
or
high
some
school.
shit like that.
I wrote like a 150-page book, and then it got lost to a virus, and then I pretty much gave up on ever thinking about writing a book ever again.
Damn, crazy work.
Well,
that was a lot of nights in, Kenny. My high school experience. Go ahead, Nikki.
I wrote a paper, and it got published into the Library of Congress.
Ooh.
So, oh shit, you're a Fed.
And I also wrote a different paper, and PETA published it. So that's 2 publications I have to my name.
That's what's up.
You're just not telling us this?
Well, one of them was about the inhumane conditions of the canine muscular dystrophy labs at Texas A&M University. They like pretty much tortured golden retrievers.
Damn, how do you torture a golden retriever? That's fucked up.
Yeah, and it's crazy too because like not only is it discussing animal cruelty that's been like hella whistleblown on for years and years and years, and it's been research that has been conducted for over 30 years and gained no positive human testing from. It's also like your mascot's a dog. Like our mascot is a dog. Like it's a
Sikkim.
What is it? I don't know what kind of breed it is, but
hold on. An Aggie is a form of a dog.
Yep.
It's a breed of a dog.
It's like, you know how Alabama, they're like the Crimson Tide, but they're also an elephant?
Yeah, it's fucking stupid.
Same thing. But anyway,
that's really fucking stupid.
My Library of Congress paper was about, it was an essay on how to effectively prevent violence. And yeah, it'd be in DC now. Yeah. So pretty cool.
Cool flex.
All right.
Can you see me, by the way, Kenny?
Yes, we can see you.
Can you see my face?
Hold on.
Did you?
Let's talk about it.
Wow.
Wait, what?
Right here.
Hold on. What? Did you just carrying me?
Did you have any?
Yeah, pretty much. She's carrying you right now.
Hey, Nikki, I just want to let you know something. You're allowed to say the word pussy on television as long as you're holding a cat. Did you know that?
Pussycat? Oh.
No, like you could just not say cat. Like you literally they did it. I think on what was that movie? Austin Powers.
I'm sure Family Guy did it.
Yeah, like there's certain stuff you could say. Like you can say pussy as long as you're holding a cat on TV. There's like weird FCC rules and stuff you can get away with.
Good to know. I will definitely keep that in mind.
It's like when I saw the first picture, I was like, why is his mouth open that wide? Why is her mouth open that wide? Like, I was like, this is...
Because she was dying.
Share a picture with no context, but make it funny.
So that y'all's cat, y'all's pet turn,
I mean, I don't own a pet.
Pet. You don't even have any.
I don't own a pet. I always wanted a dog, though. I named him Boxer.
Cat? What did cat ever do to you?
I mean, I don't hate cats. I just know, like, cats, like, we would stop fucking with each other, and it would just be like, all right, you go your way, I go mine, but I always have food out for you.
Do you catch the vibe of my cat? You think she's just antisocial and boring?
No, your cat looks super fun. Like, your cat looks like the life of the party.
She is.
Like, your cat looks like it'll also cut a bitch quick, though. Like,
she would. But cats catch vibes. Cats, like, they can tell that you're a bad person. Like, they can read people really well.
Yeah, and animals love me. Cats and dogs and babies love the fuck out of me because I'm awesome. So it's like...
They love me too, but I think it's because they smell the anxiety. They're like, this guy needs to chill the fuck out.
They smell the neediness on you.
They want to be your emotional support animal?
Yeah, they're like, this dude needs a hug, man.
This man needs to relieve some trauma. Pet me.
My cats are really good at detecting when I'm sad. Like, they always come up to me and they'll paw.
Pretty sure they can just pick a day.
Shit. Why?
Like
that was unnecessary. We were in a positive, healthy conversation. See, her cat would scratch the fuck out of you for being petty. Like, he would be the person to get his face scratched by a cat. That's really nice.
All right, guys.
My cat would be like, nah, fuck him.
It would not.
That cat would be like, why'd you bring him here? Fucking up the environment and the feng shui.
Like, they would talk shit about me with him. Like,
yeah,
that's my cat's vibe.
That cat would like head nod you twice, and you would be like, "Damn, your co-host kind of a bitch." Is he always like this?
Yeah,
or is she just in a bad mood?
All right, guys.
Your cat would be like, "Is his insulin low?"
So can we talk? Can we talk about football now, or?
I mean, we're talking about cats, so humans and the human, animal relationship dichotomy. So that was kind of cool. You just like shat all over that vibe.
I'm just here so I won't get fined, man.
She wants to be.
I'd say bring the cat.
The attention.
I'd say bring the cat to the studio next week, but
she would take over the pod, unfortunately.
All right, okay. Enough about cats and animals.
Oh, now we can segue because Kenny says we can segue.
Goddamn right.
All right,
gonna talk about some gator bait later in the show too.
So first up, some news from around the NFL: injuries. Von Miller is going to be out 4 games at least, still dealing with a lingering ACL injury.
It's on the pup list.
The Bucs place their guard Jensen.
Starting center Ryan Jensen.
IR.
He played through a torn ACL.
Center, guard.
No, he's a center. He's a Pro Bowl center.
That's what I said. I said center, guard.
No, you called him a guard first.
I did.
See,
But nowadays center and guard are interchangeable, right?
They're really not. See, they're not. As someone who played center and a little bit of guard,
I'm just saying.
it's different. It's just different.
I'm just saying. I'm
It's
not
different.
saying they're the same, but
you ever
they're the
snapped
same.
before? You ever snapped?
I have snapped before.
Did you snap in high school?
Yes, I did.
I'm not talking about long snapping.
I did snap.
I'm not talking about shotgun snapping.
I'm not saying I was good at it, but I did do it.
I mean, I'm talking about like snapping from under center.
No, we never went under center.
See, yeah, that's a different kind of vibe. It's different. It's all fun and dandies when you're shotgun snapping, because even if you got a run block, like you're really just ping ponging guys. You don't have to run and go get that dude. But if it's like if you're front side, if you're center, and the play's front side, and you got to go fire on backer, and there's a fucking dumbass D tackle in your gap, and there's a backer, and a safety's blitzing, and coach is like, well, why did you get the backer? Well, there was somebody on me. Well, you should have fucking got off him, and you should have let the guard get him.
So again, Kenny, he played guard in college and in the pros. He played guard in Baltimore. He was a starting guard for 3 years.
Pro Bowl center.
He was a
Pro
guard.
Bowl center.
I'm just saying.
He was honored as a Pro Bowler.
Is guard.
He was a Pro Bowl center.
I'm just saying. He's naturally
he was a Pro
guard.
Bowler as a center.
He's naturally a guard, though.
Guess what? He's a Pro Bowler as a center.
Okay.
So that's what you acknowledge him as.
Okay.
That's what on TV.
Interior lineman.
I
IOL.
feel like y'all are both.
IOL.
Nah, for the sake of like TV and broadcast,
we're not on TV.
They call him a center. I'm just letting you know.
We're in an audio experience where we make our own style and rules.
A cacophony of sound.
Yeah.
Yes.
IOL. There you go.
Is that the name of the episode?
IOL. There you go.
IOLC.
All right.
I only like cats. Damn.
Ventrell Miller injured his Achilles. Ruptured his Achilles.
Tore his Achilles.
He's going to be out for the year. And Dolphins Wilson to IR. He's going to miss 4 games.
Jeff Wilson, running back, scored 4 touchdowns last year.
Well, I should have signed Cook.
Allegedly, there was interest in Jonathan Taylor.
Speaking of, Jonathan Taylor's also on the pup for at least 4 games as the Colts continue to try to trade him. I saw some reports that they are asking for basically 2 starters and a second-round pick.
And Waddle.
Which is fucking wild.
Allegedly asking for Jalen Waddle.
And
Christian Wilkins.
Yep.
Which, by the way, they paid the dude next to him, like Austin Sealer, but they didn't pay Christian Wilkins.
Any other injuries you want to highlight, talk about? Cooper Kupp, still listed as day-to-day as he deals with a hamstring injury.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention at the top of the show, rest in peace, Gil Brandt. Hall of Fame NFL executive with the Rams, Niners, and the Cowboys. So, yeah, he's pretty much the brain trust of the Cowboys mid-90s run. But, yeah, Cooper Kupp, he's day-to-day with a hamstring. Joe Burrow started practice. Jalen Ramsey is on IR, but he's like short-term IR for his knee. You're running. How do you say his name, Nikki? Devon Arcane? How do you say his name?
Oh my God, A-Chain.
A-Chain?
A-Chain.
That's so anticlimactic.
3rd time's a charm.
Yeah, Devon A-Chain.
A-Chain's so much cooler.
It's really not. Like, think about that. It doesn't flow off the tongue. But yeah, his shoulder injury. He's gonna practice before week 1.
He has it, and he always used to.
Interesting. So Juice Scruggs, who has a leg injury for the Texans, the center, their draft pick, he's on IR. Kyle Phillips, the Titans wide receiver, has a knee injury. He's on IR. Julian Okwara, linebacker for the Lions, he's on IR too. A bunch of guys have just been put on IR, and then the other dudes have been picked up off the practice squad, waiver wire.
Can I ask a question for us casuals out there?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the whole pup thing? Is that recent? Like, I feel like pup hasn't been a term, and then all of a sudden I'm seeing it everywhere.
No, it's always been a term.
Physically unable to.
Yeah. Well, before it was different. So before, when you put someone on IR, they were done for the year. But after COVID, because of people were getting out and they had to sit out for 2 weeks and then go through the whole protocol, they basically changed it so where instead of having to put someone on IR for either like 8 weeks or 16 weeks, you could now put them on the PUP for 4 weeks. So that's why now you're starting to see it. Now you're starting to see it going around more because it's happening more and they have more spots. It's also why the practice squad is bigger. It's also why they're able to put veterans on the practice squad now. So just like basically changing the times. So what kind of one of the good things that came out of COVID? More roster flexibility. Because when you put them on the PUP, they don't count against your 53. So you're able to sign someone else.
They're on the PUP.
Minimum 4 weeks, though, right?
Exactly.
So before it was 16, and then it was 8. And then COVID, they made it 4.
So in Jonathan Taylor's case, if he ends up theoretically, like let's just say by some miracle, he signs back with the Colts, he's still on the PUP list to Week 4?
Yes.
Week 5. He'll come back at the earliest Week 5.
Mm-hmm.
If he comes back at all, ever again.
Mm-hmm. Moving on.
To the east side?
To college football. But, yes, the injuries, we don't really talk about those a lot, but with everyone's fantasy drafts coming up this week and next, it's important we touch on it. College football, Kenny.
All right, so USC clapped San Diego.
I said Kenny, not Himmy, by the way. I know I mistalked, so I just wanted to clear the air on that.
I mean, I'm Himmy at times. I'm Himeth.
Awkward.
I'm Himeth Frank James Berry at times.
Awkward.
Not really. You made it awkward.
Change the subject.
You made it awkward. I'm just leaning into the awkwardness.
Uh-huh.
Like a banana hammock. Okay. You done? You sure?
Uh-huh.
Positively?
All right, college football, Kenny.
All right, cool. So USC 6th ranked, their final Pac-12 home opener ever. Like ever in existence. They won 56-28 against.
You gotta stop saying that, bro. That's not right. You were the first one to say it wasn't right, and now you're saying it.
I said their final Pac-12 home opener.
It's not a Pac-12 home opener. It's their home opener as a member of the Pac-12.
Oh shit! Yeah, my bad.
The
Yeah.
Pac-12 opener would be
said,
if they played a member of the Pac-12.
Yeah. You're right. I said that. Yeah. Anyway, I wrote two
you got
stories.
gaslit into your own GFE.
Yeah, fuck. This is why I don't listen to people when I write stories. Because I wrote it properly in the first line and in the title, but it got changed. But it's on fullpresscoverage.com. You can check it out. Just type in go on fullpresscoverage.com. Just type in Kenneth Berry or USC football, and my stories will come up. I got a preview coming out tomorrow, or I might drop it the day of the game. But Nevada was like 2-10 last year, so they should probably drop about 77 on Nevada if they drop 56 on San Jose State.
I don't like how you say Nevada. Shit weirds me out.
Nevada?
Yeah, shit weirds me
Nevada?
out. Yeah.
Nevada?
Mm-mm.
Like Trimvada or Truvada or whatever the fuck it's called. Nevada. Anyway.
Avocado?
It's avocado.
Yeah, well, the way you say
enunciation
Nevada.
is different, though.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, look up the proper enunciation for
Kenny.
Nevada.
Do I look like a guy who looks up enunciation of anything?
You can't even say enunciation.
Exactly.
You said a nunk.
Exactly.
Do you have an onk somewhere in this room I don't know about?
Anyways, you spent half of your college football time talking about cats, so hurry the fuck up.
I didn't mention cats once. You did.
Here we go. You were talking about pussycats at the top of the show.
That wasn't the college football segment, though. That was let's talk about it. So where we talk about it. Are you okay, bro?
Yes, Kenny. And I'm telling you, you used your time filibustering your whole fucking
I'm not even filibustering. You're just being weird because you're mad that we talked about cats for 20 minutes.
And you also talked about your whole 3 life stories and variations.
That's old news, though.
You still talk about it every chance you get.
No, I don't. I've never talked about the fact that I was a film major in college before.
Yes, you have. You've talked about that. You've never talked about wanting to be a radiologist, but you have talked about being a film.
I've actually mentioned that more, but real friends listen when you talk, but it's okay. You don't.
You don't listen to me when we talk. This is certified.
You're
you even agreed. You've even agreed you don't listen to me when I talk.
Because you are musty ass Taurus. You just talk.
All right, man.
You just
talk about college
just
football.
spill out emotions, and I'm like, well, which one do you want me to clean up off the floor first? Right. So, Yeah,
Jesus.
USC won against San Jose State, a really good San Jose team, by the way. Their receiver, Nick Nash, who was a former quarterback, caught 3 touchdowns, like 6 catches, 89 yards, 3 touchdowns. He had like an amazing diving catch in the end zone, a fade route, because that's all that was really working for them against USC. Defense looks far. The defense honestly looked softer than the Froyo at my job. But I think that's just because like the corners are really young. Damani Jackson is a true sophomore. He kind of got lost in coverage a couple times and gave up a touchdown in the half. It was 21-14 at halftime. USC's offense came out kind of like tripping over their feet. They had about 3 different line combinations. 8 different linemen played. About 42 people played that first week. Like 14, different receivers caught the ball. Freshman sensation Zachariah Branch had 232 all-purpose yards in his first ever college football game. And honestly, he had a 96-yard kick return for a touchdown that pretty much put the game away. Like it was like right after the Nick Nash touchdown, he ran a kickback, and then it was like 35-14, and USC never really looked back after that. Caleb Williams had like 278 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, 72%. Completed 72% of his passes. Just it looks great on paper, but like they were kind of stalling him out early, which is crazy to think about because that's like his 10th 4-touchdown game in like I think 14 games at USC, and the record he's like a couple away from the record, which I think is like 16 or something. And like Matt Leinart did it, he set that record in like 39 games. So imagine having 4 touchdowns a game. And, like, you did it 10 times in, like, 14 games. That's insane. That's an insane number of 4 touchdown games. So, Caleb Williams is him. He's not really the issue. The offense, multiple receivers caught passes. All 3 quarterbacks played. Caleb Williams, Miller Moss, and true freshman Malachi Nelson, who I did not think would see the field, but he did. Deuce Robinson, he was a tight end, but really he's going to be a receiver. 6'6", like 220, but he's just built like a receiver. He also plays baseball. Run game was really good. Austin Jones only got about 7 carries, average 9 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns. South Carolina transfer Marshawn Lloyd played really good. He kind of was nervous in the beginning, but he kind of slowed down after he had a talk with Cliff Kingsbury at halftime. Came out kind of more comfortable running the ball. Taj Washington was the leading receiver. He had a 76-yard touchdown catch. It was crazy because it was like Caleb Williams ball snapped to him, he dropped the ball, and then just flings it 70 yards downfield. Catches it for a touchdown. I got some post-game sound. It's pretty quick. I'll play it. I got to connect it back to the thing again. Caster, yada, yada. Yeah, pretty much it comes down to San Jose State. They put up 28. They're definitely gonna compete for a Mountain West championship. Their quarterback, Chevin Cordero, is definitely going to be in the NFL roster. Hold on.
Probably exit out the Zoom.
Was that touchdown doing? How special was that touchdown doing? This is like your last home opener as a senior, and just in terms of all the touchdowns you scored here at SC, like where does that one rank?
That was pretty big, Momentum, great momentum shift.
Feels as a chef, cooking on and off the field. Like what's the post game meal looking like?
I don't know. We're gonna see. Got love for you.
I'll talk after this, bro. We might need you to stay on the line, Nick. You might need to be HR after today's segment.
Shut up, bro. I just know the routine. I have to log out of the Zoom pretty much when I play the sound because.
Bro, you're out here playing coaches speak off of what? Off of 5-day old news feeds.
I mean, this next one really isn't.
Okay, Kenny.
He just scored a touchdown, so I had to ask it.
That don't mean you have to play it.
How's it feel knowing like this is like your last home opener, and it's like the last home opener?
Last night was gratitude. Like, that show, best performances, best outcomes. Is always just showing gratitude for things. And so I took that to heart today, just being grateful, not it's not just another game, when you get this old as me, sometimes you get in this rhythm. Last opportunity, I get 6 more here at this stadium, so grateful for every opportunity and gonna make the most of it.
That was cool. That was a better one.
Yeah, Justin Diedick, senior offensive lineman, center. Plays some guard too, but he's mostly primarily a senior. I mean, a center. God damn it. Fuck you, Pete. Fuck you. You and your stupid center guard combo, fucking nomenclature. Thanks for the position designation. Asshole. But yeah,
I'm just saying, show me a guard who doesn't play center, and what are they?
There's a lot of guards that don't play center. Now, there are tackles who play center, too.
I know.
Eldridge Jenkins played all 5 positions.
And then those ones that play center usually play guard, too.
Not always. Corey Lindsey.
Look, Kenny, I was wrong, all right? Is that what you want to say? I was wrong. But I wasn't that wrong.
Okay.
But I wasn't that wrong. He played guard, all right?
Almost all centers can play guard, but not every guard can play center.
Kind of. I mean, at that level, most of them can play center. It's just can you snap?
No, it's can you actually make the calls at the line. It's much harder to play center than play guard.
I'm not saying center isn't harder. I'm just saying people that can play both.
Yeah, but they're a rare breed.
No, not that much
at an elite
anymore,
level or a swing guy? Because
not that much anymore, Kenny. Most of these guys are playing both because they want to see the field
in practice.
Period. Bro, an interior offensive lineman, what's their average draft position? Third, fourth round?
Go second.
No, there's not that many that go in the second. The elite ones go in the second. Sure, but that's the top end. I'm talking about the average spot. It's probably the third, fourth round.
Are we taking out
late
bust?
Third, fourth round.
Are we taking out bust too?
I'm talking
There are a
about
lot
the
of busts at
average. I'm
tackle.
talking about if you took all the interior linemen and plotted them where they were drafted, a majority of them, probably the average, median of them.
Late second, early
the
third?
meat of them. Bro, there's still only like 2 or 3 that go in the second round. Max.
I said late second, early third.
So I'm saying the average, right? The average.
Middle of the third.
So if the first 4 are going in the second, or in the first and second round, the top 5 or 6 are going in the first and second round. That means that's like the 10% are going in the first 2 rounds. 10, 15%.
Yeah, fair enough.
So then of that, the next 15 are going in the 3rd through 5th round.
Like Matt Slauson was a guard.
So my
and he
point
switched to
is,
center,
so the
I
reason
get you.
why I bring that up is because a lot of those guys, they don't have a choice. A lot of them don't have leverage. And so they're willing and able to get those skills as a center and as a guard to preserve their careers.
Yeah, because there was a bunch of trades. Like the Steelers traded Kendrick Green. So, I mean.
And nowadays, so many offensive lines run variations of zone that it's really not even, oh, we need a good puller or we need a good down blocker. It's like we need someone who can move and get up to linebacker, which usually the centers are the best at that anyways. So that's why a lot of them play guard too.
Yeah, that's fair, especially for today's time. But, yeah, you know, San Jose State was no slouch. Yeah, they gave up 56 points, but, you know.
It was a tough 56 points.
It was like, dude, they have 5-star. Their true freshman is better than any player we have. Like Zachariah Branch had a 25-yard touchdown catch where he like went from 0 to 60, and just looked like he's built like Percy Harvin, accelerates like a Dory, and runs almost as fast as Reggie. He's a true freshman. He said in the post-game presser that he ran the fastest 40 he ever ran was a 4.38 at your Under Armour camp, and the fastest time he ran in track in the 100 was like a 10.3. And he stopped running after his sophomore year. The kid has burners. He has elite level speed and acceleration. And on that kick return, it was like watching a Dory and Reggie combined, because I've never seen somebody just accelerate that crazy and then juke 3 people the whole field and make grown men out there look stupid as a true freshman. So they play Nevada this week, Saturday, 3:30 at the Collie. I'll be there. Hopefully this time they'll have more food in the press box, but that's a whole nother funny ass story that I'll save for later. And yeah, they should drop about 77 points on Nevada.
All right, you want to go through the rest of college football real quick?
Yeah. By the way, Utah beat Florida tonight 24-11 at Utah. Nebraska lost to Minnesota 13-10 on last second field goal. ASU is beating the crap out of Southern Utah. ASU also issued a self-imposed 1-year bowl ban because of all the NCAA investigations regarding Herm Edwards, who just quietly went back to ESPN and then doesn't want to talk about stuff, but then talks about having honor and valor, which is kind of confusing because, you know, NCAA violations. Ohio State named, I think, Kyle McCord their starting QB against Indiana. I feel like Nicky's going to have some hate right there. I don't know why. I just feel like it's probably coming because it's Ohio State. The Pac-12 fiasco. Oh, boy. There was like a whole meeting, and the Pac-12 commissioner just came out of it looking worse. So, the longer, like, these 4 schools left in the Pac-12, you know, pretty much go out to these different conferences to see what they got, I think the worse it's going to be. I've already said my piece. I think they should just go straight to the Mountain West and just squad up. And I think that's how you keep the respectability of the Pac-12 alive. But, schools are going to overvalue themselves, and we'll see how that ends up. ACC was having meetings with Stanford, Cal, and SMU. I just don't think it makes any sense geographically to have two California schools in the ACC. Especially, they're great academically, but again, do you want to see Clemson versus Stanford in the ACC title game? Do you want to see Florida State versus Cal? As if Cal will get there. I don't want to see Cal versus Wake Forest. I don't want to see Stanford versus Duke in football. Oh, God. Imagine Stanford versus Duke at Stanford. Nobody's going to be at the fucking game. There's going to be like a math-o-rama bowl situation in the parking lot. That'll be more lit than anything else. Nobody wants to see that shit. I wouldn't pay for that if I'm a conference, but hey, it is what it is. Whatever. There's going to be a whole bunch of college football this weekend, so we'll update it next week. But that's it for right now.
On to touchdown or turnover. We got a lot this week because of all the roster moves. I still need to add all the sounds on here. I don't know.
Touchdown!
I'll suffice for now. Touchdown or turnover. Nikki?
God, is that my cue? Sorry.
She fell asleep.
No, the other Nikki.
She was feeding her cat.
No, I was just too consumed with you saying nobody wants to see Clemson in the ACC title game. That's kind of a crazy take.
No, I said Clemson versus Stanford.
Clemson versus anybody. Clemson versus mom, people would go and watch it.
No, of course, Clemson, but I mean, Stanford is not a draw. That's the point.
I mean, Stanford wouldn't make it against.
Neither
Clemson,
is
so
fucking Wake Forest or fucking
Miami,
Florida State.
They still make it. Florida State's like 8th in the country.
For a decade.
You've been saying they're going to be trash all offseason.
No, I didn't.
You've been dogging the fuck out of Florida State.
I said they were mid.
You've been dogging the fuck out of them, Kenny.
They have a Heisman contender at QB and a 6'7"
This is the first you said anything of that. This is the first you said any of that about Florida
I said Florida
State.
State's legit this year. I said that a couple weeks ago.
You've done been drinking the haterade a little bit.
Yeah, Kenny. Shut the fuck up. You're lying, bro.
She
You're
only
straight
said that
up
because
lying.
Nah.
You're straight up lying, my guy.
I definitely gave Florida State their props.
A couple of weeks ago, you were saying you were talking about how they've just been in fucking mediocrity since Jameis.
They literally have.
You did not say one positive thing about having a
when we brought up the
Heisman
preseason
candidate
polls
and a first
and I went
round
through the
pick.
whole top 10. Yes, I did.
I don't even remember you going through.
I know you don't. Exactly. I know you don't. Because once I said USC was ranked 6th, you stopped listening.
No, I didn't. I don't even think you got past.
You
6.
said since Jameis they've been?
Yeah.
They've been mid since Jameis left.
I mean, do you think that Jimbo leaving was better for the program or worse?
Jimbo leaving was great for the program.
But they're still ass, in your opinion.
But they've been better than Texas A&M.
Oh, wow, sir.
He went to Texas A&M. Where else did he go? Jimbo's underwhelmed since he's been to Texas A&M. He has underperformed with that contract. Fair or not.
Okay.
And Mike Norvell has rebuilt the program up.
Who was talking about?
Kenny, this is the first time you've said anything positive about Florida State in the 2020s.
This is not true. This is cap.
And you used it to shit on Texas A&M.
Yeah, that was crazy.
No, I shit on Jimbo. I shit on Jimbo.
Crazy.
I shit on Jimbo for underwhelming
crazy.
at Texas A&M because they paid him a god smack of money.
Okay, yeah.
It felt like you gave her and your daddy ain't shit. Like it felt like you threw one of those in.
And
Like,
fuck them kids.
yeah, that's what it felt like. Like,
But like respectfully, I mean they're ranked 8th. They're ranked 8th in the country.
You can't even say it. Like it's so new for you to say. Like you're capping, saying you've been talking about it.
I don't feel good saying Florida State's good at football. Does that make you feel better?
Yeah.
Does that make you feel better? Because that's how like they got Jared
You were shitting on Florida State linemen a couple weeks ago. You were shitting on Florida State pass rushers. You were saying on Florida State linebackers.
Actually, I wasn't doing that. Let's not go that far. They've had pass rushers. They had Jermaine Johnson.
You were shitting on.
Let's relax. I was not shitting on Florida State pass rushers. Josh Sweat went to Florida State.
You were shitting on Florida State.
Let's not have revisionist history here. I said Florida State will give you everything but interior offensive linemen and quarterbacks.
You did not say that.
Yes, I did.
You did not say that.
Yes, I did. I said, what was last?
You pretty much
Florida
went down
State
the list
offensive
and shit on
to go in the first
Florida
round.
State.
That was good. I shit on Florida State quarterbacks and linemen. Yes, I do. Offensive linemen
and linebackers. You were shitting on their linebackers.
I mean, that's kind of just like hitting a defenseless animal. That's not fair.
All right. Anyways,
they haven't had good linebackers.
Anyways, let's move on. Touchdown or turnover. Really know how to like get us off the fucking rails.
I didn't get off the rails.
No, I'm talking to Nikki. I'm not talking to you. We all know you're a liability.
I didn't. Wow, it's fucked up. I'm not a liability. That's disrespectful.
It's Nikki the one I'm disappointed in because she's just.
I didn't do shit wrong this time.
See, I was on your side.
She's playing with us like we're. Well, she's playing with Kenny like he's a Beyblade. How do you say it?
You can't even say Beyblade.
Beyblade.
I was rocking with. See, yeah, fuck Florida State. For real.
I always was saying fuck Florida State, but now they're good, so I can't say fuck Florida State as much. Like,
okay, you'll still find a way. All right, touchdown or turnover, Nikki.
You're not wrong.
Touchdown or turnover. Trey Lance is heading to the Cowboys for a 4th round pick and nothing else.
Honestly, I'm going to say it's a turnover on all fronts. Like, it's a turnover for the Niners because obviously they moved up to get him and he was a bust.
Whoa. He's not a bust. That's not fair.
How is it not fair to say he's a bust?
He's been injured 2 out of the last 3 years. And
Kenny,
how many
shut
quarterbacks
the fuck up.
has
Kenny,
Kyle Shanahan developed?
Kenny, shut up. Kenny, shut up.
Nope.
Shut up because you said...
Nope.
You were calling Cleveland Farrell a bust after the second year.
No, I called him a bust.
You were calling him a
the
bust
second he got
his
drafted.
first year.
Yes, and he is.
Okay.
And he is.
Okay.
And he is.
Okay. And he's played more games than Trey Lance.
And he's still
had more of an impact than Trey Lance.
Bullshit.
And he lasted on his team longer than Trey Lance. So for you to just sit here and be like, Trey Lance isn't a bust. What the fuck are you talking about, Kenny?
He's been injured. That's not really fair. He missed the whole season, and they like Brock Purdy over him. It's just that simple.
He got beat out.
He didn't get really beat out.
He got beat out, Kenny. He was trash in preseason. He couldn't even beat a secondary Raiders defense. Don't sit here and fucking bang the table for North Dakota State, bro. Chill.
Let's relax. Everybody relax. Take a deep breath. Burn some sage.
Anyways, back to my fucking take, and then you can have your time.
You're just kicking this man's back, and I know he got a fucked up hairline, but come on.
Anyways, it's a turnover for him because honestly, if Dak plays well, he's never going to play. If Dak plays bad, they're going to put him into a situation to where he has to be a savior and a hero, and at least off the 3 years of data we have, he's not that. And I don't even know if that's fair to put him in that situation, considering he's going to have to learn an offense in a matter of 2 weeks. And my final point is, low-key, Will Grier was cooking, and he was cooking better than Trey Lance against the same Raiders defense. So, yeah.
This part isn't fair because Will Grier has been playing on the Cowboys and
well, he looked ass all preseason, and then he had...
It's like the best Will Grier's ever looked in his career.
He tore them up.
Let's be honest.
He tore them up.
But, I mean, who doesn't tear up the Raiders?
Trey Lance.
I mean, Trey Lance, the Niners' offensive line was trash, if we're being honest. Like, he was running for his life.
Telling me he was running from his life from Malcolm Kuntz?
Yeah.
That's what you're saying
The fact that I have to say these words...
what you're saying.
They hurt me more than you know. Because
he's not a bust.
I didn't think Trey Lance should have went that high either. I would have took Micah Parsons. The Niners are stupid, but that's why I'm not a Niners fan. I don't have those issues.
Well, I mean, hindsight is.
Nah, it was just smart to not take Trey Lance.
Okay, touchdown or turnover, the trade to the Cowboys.
It's actually a touchdown for Trey Lance because I think it's a touchdown for the reasons you stated. Like, okay, if Dak fucks up, he gets the benefit of the doubt. And he kind of has a similar skill set to Dak. Probably a better arm and just about the same athlete, if not better. And really, he just has to hand the ball off to Tony Pollard and get the ball out quick. And what's his face? I forget their new offensive coordinator, but like he can put up a game plan where it's like, dude, you just have to throw it to our best players. Like you don't have to do what the Niners were trying to make you do and be the franchise right out the game when in reality they just wanted a game manager and wanted you to fit into a game manager role. Like we allow you to run and use your legs, but just stay within the offense. But the fact that he got hurt, and even though he threw a touchdown in the same game, he hurt his finger and then breaks his foot. Like, there's nothing you can do about that. You have to give somebody, like, grace for an injury. And the fact that they just admitted that they wanted Brock Purdy. They like Brock Purdy better. He executes their offense perfectly. He gets the ball out.
Kenny.
He's not a wasted talent. I think a year from now, I would agree with you.
Yes.
But I think this is his final shot.
Yes, and yes to all that. And the fact of the matter is he got drafted higher than he should have, and he's no longer on the team that drafted him.
Not
That's
his
the
fault.
definition of a draft bust.
Not really.
That is literally the definition of a draft bust, Kenny.
I mean, in the words of that dude who played for the Pistons, I think Will something Johnson, he was like, "You didn't try. Not trying makes you a bust." It just didn't work out, and it was a bad circumstance for him to be drafted in, and he should never have been taken that high.
I was about to say, when you think
he didn't ask to go to the Niners,
his bad circumstance.
Mac Jones, they were saying they wanted Mac Jones.
That's the most fucking semantic bullshit I've ever heard. You're only a bust if you don't try. What in the fucking participation trophy is that?
Why the fuck, Alex Smith?
Hold on. Why the fuck would we sit here and write draft day risers, draft day bust, fantasy risers, fantasy bust,
content filler
every single fucking week and year?
Content filler.
Yes, it's content filler, but it's also fucking opinion. Like you can't just say someone is a boom or a bust.
Alex Smith.
If you want to argue that, fine. But the fact of the matter is, that's what we do with this game. And so, like, the fact of the matter is, if you get drafted in the first round, you're supposed to bring instant impact to your team.
Not necessarily.
Sure. In his case,
didn't a kicker get taken in the first fucking round?
Can I finish?
I mean, you cut me off, but okay, go ahead.
Can I finish?
Go ahead.
So if you're drafted in the first round, you're supposed to bring instant impact in 90%. Yeah, there's a 10% where, okay, we drafted him to replace X. Oh, he's a quarterback. He needs some time to develop, whatever. But good teams in the first round draft players who play and make an impact. And if you can't do that in your first team 5 years, then yeah, you're a bust. I'm not saying you're always going to be a bust. I'm not saying you can't redeem your career. I'm not saying you can't be a Hall of Famer or whatever. CC Steve Young, because that's the one everyone likes to point to. But the truth is, at least for your team that drafted you, for your draft class, you are a draft bust. Your career may not be a bust. You may not be a bum. If we're not talking about a bum is someone who doesn't try. A bum is someone who doesn't want it. But a bust means like, yeah, you tried, but it didn't work out. That's literally what a bust is.
So Alex Smith is a bust.
It depends on how you want to look at it. Are you talking about a bust?
He had a fulfilling career.
Are you talking about a bust in terms of the draft? Are you talking about a bust as a Niner?
One touchdown, 11 picks.
You asking?
Is he a bust?
What are you asking?
He had a way worse year than Trey Lance did.
What are you asking?
I'm asking.
A bust?
So
When?
is Alex
Where?
Smith, by your
his
standard,
whole career?
by that same standard,
His whole
is Alex
career?
Smith
No.
a bust?
His whole career, no.
So, but
as a Niner,
Did he redeem his draft bust status?
Kind of. As a Niner, yeah, kind of.
He actually didn't.
As a Niner, yeah,
He left the Niners better than he started.
So that's
he left
all you
Kaepernick
have to
was
do
the guy
to not be a bust?
I'm saying
that doesn't even make sense, Kenny. There's so many things that you can't control, and he got replaced by Kaepernick.
Okay, then. So that's my point. Who got replaced? Purdy replaced Trey Lance.
That was a whole different situation.
In 3 years, this man
you're gaslighting
got
me, bro.
replaced.
That's a whole different situation. You're comparing apples to naranjas.
First off, it's oranges. I know you can't spell naranjas. Secondly, if a year from now he's a starting quarterback for the Cowboys and he's decent, or he puts on a show and steals some games and has like one clutch game,
he will still be a bust with the Niners.
You will still consider him a bust.
He will still be a bust for his draft class.
That's interesting.
His career won't be a bust. He won't be a bust. But as a Niners, as a 2020 second quarterback selected, yeah, he's a bust.
Okay, I'm going to ask you another question. One final question. Is Sebastian Janikowski a bust?
No, he's the all-time leading Raiders scorer.
But that was a career. No kicker.
Doesn't matter.
You can't justify a kicker going in the first round.
He scored more points for his team than any other player in history.
But that was over like a 17-year period.
One of the most historic teams of all time.
For his draft class, was he a bust? Was he kicking 90% from
a bust?
Okay.
There's no metaverse where Sebastian Janikowski is a bust.
If you look at his first 3 years,
he's not a bust.
But I'm saying people would be like, why the fuck would you take a kicker 16th overall or 17th overall, whatever he was? It was one of those two. But I'm just saying,
Kenny,
like, what would you rather? What would you rather be? A kicker going in the first round,
out of all those
or
sorry ass fucking teams that we watched in the fucking 2000s?
Yes.
How many of those games of those 4, 5, 6 win teams? Half of those wins went to Janikowski?
They should have. Most of them.
Half of them.
70% of them.
That shitty game against the fucking Bears.
70% of those wins should have gone to Janikowski.
The fucking shitty game. There was a shitty game against the Chargers. There were so many shitty games that Raider team played.
Countless shitty games against the Chargers. But I'm saying, who would you rather be? A kicker who went way too high in the first round?
That's not the question. Let's move on. Take your tangent. Next. I'm sorry, touchdown.
He should be allowed to redeem himself. That's all I'm saying.
I'm not saying he shouldn't, but for where he was now, where he is now, he's a bust. His team gave up on him. That's the definition of a bust.
The team gave up on you, though. That's not really your fault.
That's
it's partially your fault.
Very unique. He has a very unique and unrepeatable situation. I feel like you're kind of being a little bit critical on him for a very specific.
Exactly.
I was just defending him 2 weeks ago. The reason why he's a bust is because his team gave up on him. If they would have kept him for another year, then yeah, I would say, okay, he's not a bust yet. Let's see how this year plays out. But because the team moved on from him, they closed that chapter.
Doesn't. I mean, I don't know. I think it's too early to be that critical.
Dude, the dude has only thrown like 100 balls in like 6 years.
Exactly. So there's not even a good sample size.
Yeah. But even going back to college, he was hurt.
No, they had COVID, so he didn't get to play his last year like that. He only played like 2 games. He was healthy. He threw like 30 touchdowns and 1 pick.
So that's as much as he's thrown in like 5 years, bro.
But that's what I'm saying.
In competition.
That would be a better argument.
COVID cut his development.
COVID.
He didn't ask to go that high.
COVID cut his development.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that's not what we're talking about. We're not talking about, he didn't ask to go that high. We're not talking about fucking all the dead relatives Jamarcus Russell had. We're not talking about all the context. The fact of the matter is, you get drafted where you drafted.
They drafted him knowing he wasn't ready to play, though.
Your team gives up on you. Like, you're a bust.
They drafted him knowing he wasn't ready to play.
You don't
had
buy
Jimmy Garoppolo.
You don't buy a car, take it back 3 years because it's faulty and say, yeah, it wasn't a lemon.
But a car is fully
It wasn't a lemon. I just didn't know how to drive it. Like, it didn't fit me. Like,
a car is fully complete when you buy it.
Sure, that's true. Yeah, you're probably right. You probably shouldn't have bought an SUV if you fucking drive 80 miles every day. Sure, that makes sense.
Trey Lance had flaws,
but
when he
also
was drafted.
But also, like, you don't just give up on that if it didn't work out. Like, it didn't work out. It's over. Like, it's a bust. I'm not saying he's a bust forever. I'm not saying he can't redeem himself. I'm not saying he's a bum. I'm not saying he's washed. I'm not saying any of that.
He's a bust.
I'm saying for where he was drafted, he's a bust. Like, it's not that hard, guys. It's not that hard to understand.
I think the
you guys
blame
are complicating
goes more on the Niners than it does.
I'm not blaming him. I'm just saying
you called him a
factually,
bust.
it's a bust.
That's a negative connotation.
It's just the situation is just so unrepeatable.
Okay, and that's football. That's there's 53 people and they all have outstanding fucking circumstances because they're all fucking emotional men, exceptional at what they fucking do. Like, but that's the point of boom or bust. Is it's not about the fucking nuances and
he wasn't ready to play.
It's not.
He was never ready to play. They drafted him knowing he wasn't going to play his rookie year.
What I'm saying is the reason why we do the boom or bust is not to talk about the nuances and the circumstances. The point is to point to the fact of the value. You went somewhere and you didn't deliver on the value. You didn't give a return on your investment. It doesn't matter why. We could talk about why all day long, like we are now. We could talk about it for fucking hours, like everyone has on ESPN. Yeah, all that shit is true. But the fact of the matter is, a bust is return on investment. What did you invest and what did you get back? Did you get back value? No.
So that's
all
the
right.
Niners' fault.
The Niners could have kept trying to get value.
They could have drafted Michael Parsons.
They could have kept him another year to get the value. But no, they said we're going to cut our losses. So that makes it a bust.
They also could have drafted Michael Parsons.
He's a bust.
They could have drafted Jamar Chase.
I'm saying he can still play well with the... If he wins a Super Bowl with the Cowboys, then yeah, he's not a bust. But for the Niners, he's always going to be a bust. He was a bust with the Niners.
Okay, but whose fault is it that he's a bust with the Niners? The team or him? Because the team didn't prepare him. Like, he was drafted into a shitty situation.
Yeah, it's probably the Niners.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's more John Lynch, and Kyle Shanahan has never developed a quarterback that you can name. Brock Purdy is a game manager, but he was a game manager at Iowa State.
But that's the point that
he got limitations.
That's the point that I'm trying to convey to you guys. Is like the bust is not the perspective of the player. The bust is the perspective of the team.
That I can agree with, but I just don't put the bust on him because he's not a bust.
Well, you can't put the bust on anyone.
No, you put that was a bad draft choice.
Because there's 22.
That was a bad trade. 3 first rounders, and then you didn't even fucking develop the kid.
There's 22 moving variables on any given football play.
Times
that by 50 snaps a game, times that by 10, times that by 16, times that by all the practice reps. Yeah, no player is responsible for being a bust.
Nah.
Because there's too many fucking moving parts.
Tony Mandarich was a fucking bust.
Where there's too many moving different parts.
Carlos Rogers was a bust. No, was it Carlos? The Michigan State receiver? Yeah, Carlos Rogers. Nah, some cats
Carlos
are bust.
Rogers was a cornerback.
No, it's a receiver too. Charles Rogers.
Wait, hold on, I can't hear you. What'd you say?
I said I don't even agree first place. So I don't think I'm not on the same train of saying, oh yeah, they cut their losses. I think that was a bad decision. So I think that kind of plays into the fact that I'm my defense,
Because Sam Darnold's definitely a bust.
I mean, you could say the 49ers are a bust, but they've been to 2 Super Bowls in that regime's 6, 7 years, 8 years?
And lost.
That's more than
Was the quarterback's position really a factor in that?
It was the defense.
I mean,
and everything else.
It did more than 30 other teams.
Jimmy not even on that team anymore.
It was Jimmy at the time. It was developed expressly by Tom Brady. So it's like...
Thank you. Jimmy was developed before he even left.
So if you finish in the 90th percentile of what you do twice in 5 years, you're just going to act like that's nothing?
Did you win?
No, I'm not here to shit on
Like,
you didn't win, it don't matter.
Fan of Gronk. saying like he was involved less in that playoff run than he was in his 4 games when Tom Brady was suspended at the Patriots.
Okay, well that doesn't even really matter.
And Jimmy Garoppolo was a fully formed player before.
That's not the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is, yeah, if you want to question the 49ers decision making, go ahead. Yeah. But I'm saying you can look at their reputation. What, they've only missed the playoffs twice in their regime.
And how do they do it? By building up a ridiculous defense, right?
A ridiculous draft class every year.
Defense.
But they find value throughout the draft.
Yeah, defense and offense. By the way, McGlinchey was kind of a bust, but he got a huge payday with Denver. I don't know why they did that, but whatever. He didn't play great. But hey, I'm just saying, I would have took Michael Parsons, and they probably would have won a Super Bowl because they could have fucking traded for a quarterback. But no, they traded their whole draft for Trey Lance, a kid who they knew wasn't going to play right away. And then they only really had a year to develop him, if we're being honest. A year and a half. Because if you're hurt, he broke his foot and then spent the whole year rehabbing his foot. So really, he had one off season to actually become a pro quarterback. And that's not fair for any quarterback. Like, have you said multiple times in this era that quarterbacks in this era do not get a fair time to develop. Okay. He did not get a fair time to develop. So the label of bust isn't really fair. Like, I hope you weren't expecting him to have a Justin Herbert type impact, because let's be honest, a lot of people whiffed on Justin Herbert. Like, and if we're being honest, again, Trey Lance was never ready to play. Jimmy G was always going to be the starter. And then Brock Purdy just happened to be dumb luck.
You're explaining the same thing you've already explained. So is there anything new you want to add?
I'm just saying, how many years?
I don't know why.
How many years are you putting about? How many years are you putting on a bus?
So hard to defend Trey Lance. Like,
I'm not defending
the bust quarterbacks.
It's not about Trey Lance. It's about your definition of a bust. And what's the timetable for a bust? 3 years, the whole rookie contract. Because at one point,
the timetable for a bust is a rookie contract for me. As far as a draft bust,
okay.
As far as a draft bust,
people were looking at Josh Jacobs that way for like a year.
You were. You, not people. You.
No, it was other people too.
No, you.
Other people too.
You, Kenny. You're the only person I know that was doing that.
I was like, I don't know.
It was
I don't know. Yeah, I'm telling you.
You were trying to trade for Kamara.
Yeah, I definitely wanted prime Alvin Kamara over Josh Jacobs.
Not even prime Alvin Kamara. Like 2 years ago. This was 2 years ago.
It was still good.
This was when we had the good news. It
was 7 touchdown Kamara.
This was before last year.
7 touchdown Kamara.
This was before last season.
7 touchdown in a game Kamara.
This was...
Yeah, he did that after he was kind of
Josh Jacobs just had the best year as a Raiders running back.
He never scored 7 touchdowns in one game.
But if you were GM, you would have traded him before that whole season.
I would have got draft value, too.
Before that whole season.
I would have got draft value. Kamara already got paid, so I'm just saying. One Alabama running back for another, right? Damn, they were on the same team, too. Same time.
Hear me out.
Go for it.
Speaking of which, the Raiders and Josh Jacobs, they agreed to a 1-year deal worth up to $12 million. What do y'all think? Touchdown or turnover?
I'm going to say we haven't talked about it. It just happened this week.
Off air, yeah.
We haven't even talked about it off air.
No, I talked about it off air with people. Never mind, I'm tripping.
Here we go. I'm going to say it's a turnover, but not for the reasons you think.
It replaced the franchise tag.
I'm going to say it's a turnover because what the fuck took so fucking long? Not only was this the deal that Saquon got, but this was reportedly like the deal that they've already had on the table and talked about. So like, what the fuck got lost in translation, and why are we here 2 weeks later? Like, honestly though, I mean, I'm happy that Josh Jacobs is back in camp. I'm happy he got some time away to be with his family. I guess his dad was sick, so that's cool. But yeah, honestly, I don't know why we're here. Like, I don't know why we had a 3-week holdout if this was just going to be the number and the years anyways. Like,
I was waiting for your...
That's it. That's all I gotta say. Like, why the fuck are we here? That's why
you can blame Saquon Barkley for that, because he caved, and apparently Austin Eckler cussed his ass out during that whole, running back Zoom call, because it's like he was the one person who could have afforded that whole. He could have held out because he deserved to be paid more than his quarterback. And if he had held out, he probably could have fought for 15 to 16 million.
Well,
but he chose not to.
Well, the kicker
so now
is,
everybody else, like Zeke, got what he got.
Well, the
Cook
kicker
got what he
is,
got.
Well, the kicker is Saquon just got paid last year because that 5th year you get the bump. Josh Jacobs didn't get a 5th-year option, so he never got the fat increase that he's supposed to get from year 4 to 5.
But that's
that's why.
No,
that's
but
why
he chose
Saquon,
to cave.
That's why
for his benefit.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why Saquon had more leverage because he already got paid the year before.
He ain't got no leverage.
Jacobs didn't have that same leverage because he hadn't gotten his raise yet.
Had Saquon held out.
I'm agreeing. I'm agreeing with you. I'm explaining to you.
But I'm saying it's a bad move that he signed that deal because it slotted him. It didn't slot him. It slotted every guy after him. Had he held out for as much as he could have, instead they came up to a compromise and said, instead of franchise tagging you, we'll give you a 1-year, $12 million, however much Saquon got. Jacobs is like, what the fuck? I'm only getting $12 million, and then if I tear my ACL, my patella tendon, I'm never getting paid again. Is that what you want? Is you want $12 million a year for 3 years of great work? Is that what you're telling me? Are you okay with that? If somebody told you were going to do that, let's say he gets, God forbid, he gets injured, but he had 3 great seasons and the greatest rushing season in Raiders history, and then has one more good season, and then sadly or hypothetically gets hurt, and he has $12 million to show for it, and he got a bunch of kids allegedly. Like, are you really going to be okay with that? Is that going to sit right? If you were him, would that sit right with you?
Obviously not.
So Saquon fucked everybody over by taking that deal. We just got to be honest. But he chose to be a team player and take the deal. If all the top running backs chose to sit out, I mean, Pollard had to sign his deal. He wasn't a first-round pick, so he had to get his money. Saquon was seen as like the god of the Adrian Peterson of running backs, like a generational talent. He holds out. This is different. Now people are looking like, hey, did McCaffrey get paid too much?
No, but
Then people are going to try to bring his number down.
No, but again, like, you're ignoring a lot of context. Like, the other reason why Saquon's holdout was so important was because the Giants already have paid a lot of people and they still needed to pay Danny Dimes. Like, the Raiders, they pretty much already got most of their key guys under contract. So it was always just kind of figuring out Josh Jacobs' situation. He was priority number 1. That's why he had leverage on the Raiders. That was the only leverage he had on the Raiders.
I think he wants more than $12 million a year.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I'm saying. Like, that's a compromise, which
that's
means
what I'm saying. It's been but we could have came to this and he could have been in camp, is what I'm saying.
But he fought for it because he wanted his money. And if all the running backs running backs were in unison, something changes. But because Saquon did what he did, he set the market not for himself but for everybody under him. Now,
I'm agreeing with you.
What's the how they could, unless they signed unless they said we will not franchise you next year, and there's no guarantee that of happening, he's screwed. The Raiders can just move on.
Well, this is why they fucked themselves, these players, because had they had taken the franchise tag, they'd be making 25% more next year when they get the franchise tag again. So you're looking at instead of making 12, you're looking at making what?
Plus their first round pick, so you can actually know his 5th year got declined. I'll take that back.
What's a quarter of 20? So you're looking at making $15 million. Right? I don't know if they're going to get that next year outright.
I don't think he will out extra.
They'll probably get another 12.
I don't think he gets extra $5 million.
You get 25% if you get franchise tag 2 years in a row. It's a bump. You get they have to pay you that much more.
We got an extra $5 million.
He would have got an extra 25%.
So he would have got $17 million next year.
So he would have got whatever. If he would have got, I think the franchise tag for running backs was like $11 million.
Okay.
So 25% of that is roughly like $3 million. So he would have got $14 million next year, $15 million.
That's still not a lot, especially if they're going to keep franchising.
For a year for a running back, though, that's a lot. I don't think either of them
Okay.
are going to get $15 million a year.
But
next
Saquon
year.
definitely wanted more than McCaffrey money.
Sure. All right, let's move on. We're fucking eating time today.
Cats.
Up next, we have CJ Stroud being named the Week 1 starter of the Texans over Davis Mills and Case Keenum.
Touchdown. Obviously, the Texans seem to be moving in a rebuild direction. CC all the veterans they cut this week. And why not roll out Stroud? He was supposed to be the most polished quarterback in this draft class anyways.
I wouldn't say most polished.
Most pro-polished.
I'll give you that one. Definitely, for sure. I think he had that edge over Bryce. I think it's just a smart move. I mean, he's the better option. I mean, you got to start these guys. I think this rookie quarterback class with the three that, like, Richardson has to start. You have to start Bryce. You have to start, you have to start Stroud. Like, it just makes sense. Like, I think people forget the Texans actually have a really good team. Like, even though the Raiders with their horrible drafting record, Jalen Petrie out of Baylor, only person in the NFL last year who had 100+ tackles and 5 interceptions. How many tackles did he have last year? Anybody know? Jalen Petrie, starting safety for the Houston Texans, had 147 tackles and 5 picks. Better than any season Derwin James has ever had in his life. Better than 99% of all DBs in the league currently right now. Even DBs who had 10 picks in the season. You get 147 tackles, 5 picks, and a couple forced fumbles from a guy who wasn't even a first-round pick. By the way, the Patriots passed on him. The Raiders passed on him. I was at the Senior Bowl. I was like, why is this dude, like, it just pisses me off. He would have fixed all the Raiders' problems. But that dude's back there. You got Derek Stingley Jr. They drafted another corner. Like, it's a perfect, like, I think Stroud probably has the best situation out of all the rookie QBs.
All right, next.
Next up, we have $68.5 million extension. Turnover.
Well, we know why Detroit didn't want to keep him. So
Kyle Pitts going to get paid next.
I say it's a touchdown because, yeah, they traded for him last year and they're keeping him.
And it's smart because you got rid of
He fits what they want to do as far as both running the ball and pushing it down the field.
He's a great blocker and great receiver. And I definitely had him on my fantasy team. And stupidly traded him away to you. But hey, that was because Detroit wasn't using him. So
yeah, he didn't really do that much for me.
They stopped using him. But he had spurts for Minnesota.
He had a couple big games, but
he turned it up in the playoffs.
He wasn't consistent.
But for what Kirk Cousins is, and for what that Vikings offense is, he's a perfect, stress reliever off Justin Jefferson. So that's great for him. I mean, Evan Ingram got paid. He got paid. Honestly, like, these tight ends are kind of going. Pitts is going to be up next.
All right.
The Vikings picked up Gaskin. Touchdown or turnover?
Say neither.
Miles Gaskins. That's
neither.
That's uneventful.
Yeah, neither.
Nobody cares.
I think it's a turnover for the Dolphins, considering Jeff Wilson just got hurt. But
I mean, there's other
there's
running backs out there.
There's always running backs out there. All right, next one.
Plus,
I don't know how you're gonna do a touchdown or turnover with this one. But
that Tamu running back looking kind of nice for Miami. That's all I'm gonna say.
On this one, are you ready?
Let's see it.
We're gonna go over cut down day.
Let's go.
Touchdown or turnover? Cardinals release.
Touchdown. I didn't even know Colt McCoy's in the league, and I say that every year, and he's still in the league. It's crazy.
Touchdown. I have no more.
Damn.
I have no more slander towards. I have no more slander towards Colt McCoy or Texas football. Currently,
I'm listening. All right.
The Cardinals tanking though.
Oh yeah.
Are they tanking or did they?
They're
just
tanking
not have a
the
plan?
fuck, bro. They're tanking
Or do
the
they
fuck
just
out
not
of the
have a
season.
plan?
They're tanking the fuck out of the season.
Or do they just not have a plan?
They're gonna get Caleb.
I just think they don't have a plan, honestly.
Yeah, I think the same. I think they just are badly managed.
Okay.
Malik Cunningham and Bailey, is it Zap or Zappy? I still don't know.
I think
They're
it's Zappy,
both
actually.
separately waived by the
I would have said it's a turnover, but they were able to claim both, so it's definitely a touchdown.
Wait, I thought they only got Cunningham back because he has him listed as a QB/wide receiver, and they picked up.
No, they got Zap too.
They picked up Will Greer though. They picked up Matt Corral.
I thought they only got Bailey back. Cunningham.
They got Cunningham, and they for sure got Matt Corral. They're not gonna carry 5.
No, I think they signed Corral, but they think they have Zap and Malik Cunningham.
Corral was like a rookie 2 years ago or a year ago.
Bailey Zap and Malik Cunningham back to Patriots squad.
Yeah, but they also have Corral, which is kind of weird to have 4 quarterbacks, but unless they're really going to move.
But I don't think Corral's on the practice squad. I think he's on the roster.
Yeah, which is weird. It's more of a like, why do you need 2 guys on the practice squad?
Well, because one they can use as an athlete.
Cunningham to the.
I feel like they're going to call Cunningham up and make him play receiver, which is kind of weird because he's not a receiver.
Not like receiver fast. Like he's fast.
He's got a 4.53, but he's not like
a burner as a receiver. As a quarterback, yeah.
He's actually pretty good, like developmentally.
He's shifty.
He moves the pocket and throws a pretty decent ball, but it's like
his accuracy is kind of all over the place.
I think they're just gonna use him.
His accuracy is all over the place, and his reads are kind of all over the place.
Yeah,
but he's very much a gamer, so I mean, I see why they would move his position. All right, sorry. Move on.
Never heard touchdown or turnover from either of you.
It's a touchdown. I said it was a touchdown. They got him back, so it worked out.
Quarterback Walker, touchdown or turnover?
Turnover.
Touchdown.
It's a turnover that we're talking about, PJ Walker.
What's a touchdown? Shout out to the XFL, but it's a touchdown because Tyler, their badge at the D3 or D2 quarterback, he won the QB2 job for Chicago.
Cool.
So good for him.
Hopefully they don't sign someone if Justin Fields get hurt.
Round away by the Panthers. Touchdown or turnover?
It's a touchdown because he landed with the Pats. I mean, I'd rather be there than backing up a number 1 pick. Like, at least you know if Mac Jones hits the fan, like, you got a shot.
That's true.
And you get to learn from Bill Belichick, whatever that means in 2023. But, hey.
He has moxie.
At least that gives you something to put on your resume and keep you in the league as a backup for another 8 years.
And Corral's a tough dude, and he was coached by Lane Kiffin. And they know how to get quarterbacks to the league.
Yeah. Sis, if you're going to give touchdown or turnover, you got to do it on all of them. You can't just do the Patriot ones.
Yeah. Homerism.
Homerism.
Matt Corral. Okay, that's what the title says. I don't know what y'all talking about.
I'm just saying.
You wrote it.
I'm just saying. You can't be a moderator and be the third opinionist. Like, you got to choose. Like.
Opinionist.
I didn't know Matt Corral even got signed by the Pats until after I wrote that. So yeah,
it's okay.
Anyway,
they don't need to know that.
Or Riger?
Don't tell on yourself.
Jalen Rieger.
Yeah.
Jalen Rager.
Okay, yeah. So he got cut, unfortunately.
Waived.
Touchdown or turnover.
Been a tough year for TCU, but
TCU doesn't develop wide receivers. That's why.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's a turnover only because there was rumors that he allegedly had trade value and people were calling about him. So I don't know why you wouldn't trade him for a 7th-round pick.
I don't believe he ever had trade value.
There was multiple reports that said that, so I don't know.
I mean, then why he waived?
Exactly. I don't know.
Shout out to Jake Bobo.
All right. Last category of touchdown or turnover, we got some trades. We're going to go rapid fire once again. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. Browns trading Dobbs to the Cards.
Yeah. I guess it's a touchdown. I don't know. Like
the Browns had like 6 quarterbacks who were all good.
Like we talked about with the Cards, like I really don't know what they're doing. You know, you could say they're tanking for Caleb, but then why did you invest so much in getting Kyler's guys and trying to build around him? Like that shit just doesn't make sense. And then why would you just blow up the defense? Either way, like Caleb's gonna need a defense. And like if you're gonna trade Simmons, why wouldn't you trade Buddha? Like who has more trade value? Like that's what I'm saying. Like the Cardinals, I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Yeah, but if you're tanking, it doesn't matter. Like, what is one free safety gonna do when you're really tanking,
Strong
bro?
safety at this point.
He plays both.
He does.
He plays nickel too.
Safety really just has a whole new meaning in today's game.
You've been pretty fickle with positions today, Kenny. I don't know.
I mean, safety's different than
I don't know, man.
No, man, because some dudes can play single high safety. Others can't play in the box, so it varies. His style is pretty versatile, though. But, yeah, it's like the Browns had an embarrassment of wealth at quarterback. That's why they literally, like, waived Kellen Mond and then took it back and traded Ricky Dobbs, who can proven he can start. So he can start. He'll be the starting quarterback for, obviously, the Cardinals, which will be interesting. Feel bad for Marquise Brown and Zach Ertz.
Same.
And they got rookie Paris Johnson at left tackle. So at least they got his left tackle of the future. They traded Josh Jones, the Houston tackle, and got a 4th-round pick for. I don't know how they got that high of a pick. I don't know what the fuck the Cardinals are doing. I don't understand how you go trade the 9th overall pick, a dude with that much versatility and ability. And like the crazy part is, his first year, he played like 53% linebacker. His second year, he played like 49% corner. What the fuck? Like, I'm still mad the Raiders didn't put in a bid to get him. But it's like, dude, he's 6'4", 240, was a 4.38. And you got him out there playing corner. Like, dog, come on. Like, I would...
all right, we're going rapid fire, Kenny. You fucking banged the table for Isaiah Simmons.
Nah, I just had to go rapid fire on the Cardinals because I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Like, they got Ricky Dobbs, who's a journeyman, whatever. It's a touchdown for Ricky Dobbs, for Dobbs, Joshua Dobbs, who also has like a really great degree from Tennessee. That dude's like a literal genius, like a rocket scientist.
All right, moving on. Good for Dobbs. Patriots trading Strong to the Browns.
They got a lineman back in return. Touchdown. They didn't really need Strong. They have too many running backs. They needed extra linemen.
Agreed.
Yeah, they're running back room pretty stacked. So
the Browns and Patriots always make trades.
Bill Belichick's out of the game. He's like, you owe me one.
Okay, Ren. Moving on, we didn't hear that. Bills saying, excuse me for my pronunciation. Is it Basham?
Boogie Basham. Boogie Basham.
To the Giants.
I think they got like a 5th-round pick back or something. Yeah, I mean, the Giants needed linemen, pass rushing, and the Bills have an embarrassment of wealth on defense. They can afford to, trade guys and get picks back, so good for them.
I'm going to say it's a touchdown because, once again, the Giants prove they're willing to make moves. I mean, that's what I like about the Giants is, like, mid, shitty, or good, like, they're always willing to tinker their roster. And certain teams I know and follow don't always do that.
Fair enough. Next up, we got the Saints trading Lutz to the Broncos. Touchdown or turnover?
Sean Payton got his guy. That's a touchdown. One of the great kickers in Saints history. And, the Broncos now have a kicker in Will Lutz that Sean Payton trusts.
Yeah, that's wild. No more
He's cooking.
No more McManus in Denver. Like, that's always my sleeper kicker pick in fantasy because he's always good for a couple.
Wow, I didn't even think of that.
He's always good for a couple of long ones in the high altitude. But I don't know. Maybe I'll what's it called? Oh, maybe I'll stream Lutz a couple times and see how it works out.
Okay, I just thought about that. Like, you're gonna get a career dome kicker to migrate to
Mile
High City.
Pretty smart.
It's interesting.
We'll see.
We'll see. All right, rounding out this category, we got the Cowboys and the Dolphins. They're swapping Joseph and Igbino.
Yeah, I don't know how to say that Auburn corner's last name either. His name's Noah.
I'll just call him the Auburn corner.
Because, I mean...
Igbino,
don't hurt yourself. Don't hurt yourself.
Rock with.
Kelvin Johnson was the second-round corner out of Kentucky for the Cowboys. Noah was a first-round pick out of Auburn for the Dolphins, and they traded those dudes to the other team. Might need to change the scenery. Good for them.
Yeah, I'll say it's a touchdown, too, because both of them are kind of tinkering with their corner depth.
Now, Noah's technically a bust. He's actually had playing time. It's easy to bust out as a corner, so it's not really fair.
Yeah, but he's trying, bro, so he's not a bust.
But I'm saying, like, he has two all-pro corners. He has two all-pro corners in front of him. It's not fair.
Shut up. He's trying, though, bro.
He has two all-pro corners starting.
He's trying, though. Like, he puts his head down and goes to work every day.
They have Javon Holland. They have,
he's not a bust, bro. You cannot call him a bust. He shows up to work every single day like you do, bro.
But he was getting virtually...
His pants just have a fucking girl in them, bro. That's the only difference between you and him. He's trying his hardest.
Wow, did you just... That was an unnecessary shot.
I'm just saying, bro. Like,
what does that have to do with anything?
Because you used that fucking weak-ass fallacy earlier, bro.
It's because he went to Auburn?
We can't call anyone a bust because they're trying. Unless they're fucking Pete Marinovich, that's the only bust, bro. He never tried.
No, I said the Colts lineman.
Todd Marinovich. I'm sorry. I said Pete.
No, I didn't even say Todd Marinovich. I said Tony Mandarich.
I know, but I'm talking about fucking Todd because I know his story.
Yeah, he's a mental head case.
He threw his shit away.
He did. Mental head case, too.
Take your tangent. Sorry, I'm not yelling at you. I'm just yelling in your direction.
You're yelling into the ether.
Yes. Sorry. Go ahead.
Eagles wants a trade due to the probable lack of him playing in 2023 because of all of the high skill positions in his area. That was really bad description. But
I think this is a contract thing because I think his contract is up after this year and he probably wants to get paid. I think it's more about that than playing time. Like, yeah, it's about the playing time, obviously.
That's what he said. He was saying that he feels like he's not going to start and he's sad, so he wants to go somewhere else.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you could have made this. He could have said the same thing last year, right? But last year he was coming off an injury. And last year, I think, was only the second year of his deal. So I think he probably just wants to get
he didn't have room.
Yeah, but they had other guys on the edge in the defensive line.
They already had their starters.
They always have a deep rotation.
He was coming off of an injury, so he couldn't advocate for himself like that because he was just coming off of an injury.
Even when they drafted him, they had guys there. Like the Eagles have had an 8-man defensive front since 98.
RIP Jim Johnson.
Like the Eagles closetly are the defensive line like goats.
Yeah.
Like when you really think about what they've gotten and what they've gotten both at the top,
Hugh
the
Douglas,
mud, what they've discovered, what they've
Javon
rebuilt.
Curse.
Like they're like
Corey
low-key
Simon.
defensive line goats.
Like I could name hella Eagles D linemen who were nasty great. Broderick Bunkley was good for a minute. Matt
Florida
Patterson,
State.
Mike Patterson.
I need you to stop talking about Florida State, bro. This is the most you've talked about Florida State ever.
So I can't talk about what Deion said. Never mind. God damn. All right. One time I bring up
Anything
Florida
you want to
State-
add on Barnett, take or tangent?
Yeah, I mean he's Tennessee's all-time sack leader, and I think he would be an instant starter for a lot of teams. Probably a better plug-and-play guy than Chandler Jones.
I feel like he'd be good with the Rams.
Dude,
Right on the Texans D-line.
All right. Moving on. Matt Stafford, this is all according to his wife, apparently on some podcast that she has said that she shouldn't have said because she shouldn't have spoken on her husband's workplace or something. So take this with a grain of salt, I guess. But she started talking about how he's apparently been struggling to remain a leader in the locker room due to the generational divide between him and most of the players, saying that he says that he doesn't know how to lead people he has no connection with, and his teammates seem too focused on their phones and don't interact with one another in the locker room.
So
That's all.
I low-key have a lot to say about this. So do you want to go first, Kenny?
I'll just say my piece and get out the way. I think he came out and refuted some of this throughout the week.
He has actually made zero comments, apparently. He's made zero public comments of his wife's stuff. But she has refuted her own comments personally.
He's
She's
come
like,
out
"Sorry,
and
I
said
didn't
like
do that."
he's talked about leadership, but he hasn't addressed these comments per se. I just think that's kind of that's a known thing. Like, dude,
No
he's
shit.
he's almost 40.
Yeah, no
the
shit,
fuck?
bro.
Like,
You've been in the league almost 20 years, my
bro,
guy.
you were throwing touchdowns to Calvin Johnson before Tutu Atwell was probably
dude
even
who got
born.
them on their fucking wall, bro.
Like they were playing with you in Madden and probably trading you depending on how they felt about you. Like when they were 7, you were still playing football. Like you in the black sleeve in Georgia throwing AJ Green, they probably weren't even alive. So that's really like a non-issue.
They were alive, bro, but they weren't like
2 or 3.
They were in their formative
It's like
years.
Nikki not remembering USC's dynasty or
That was an unnecessary shot.
I mean, what? That's the early 2000s.
Dynasty?
She's 24.
Fucking God,
It's
we're not doing this.
It's
We are not doing
2023.
this, children. Children, we are
How
not
old
doing
was
this.
Nikki in the year 1997?
We are not doing
she
this.
wasn't fucking born.
Unnecessary roughness, 15-yard penalty
That
on
wasn't
Kenny.
a shot,
Oh, yes,
Nikki.
that was a shot, Kenny.
No, it was
That
not.
was a shot, Kenny.
On the love for my
That
nephew,
was
that
a
was
shot.
not a shot.
That was a shot,
That was not
Kenny.
a shot.
That was a shot.
Guess what? My mom talks about
You shot in the air. You weren't shooting at her, but the bullet definitely came down.
You're calling me Alex Baldwin. You're
the
calling me
bullet-
Alex Baldwin.
The
That's
bullet
fucked up.
definitely came down.
You're calling me Alex Baldwin. That's fucked up.
No, Alex Baldwin thought he had
It was
blanks.
a fucking rubber pellet. That shit was ass.
Yeah.
I didn't point the gun in her face and be like, it's not loaded.
That's Alex Baldwin. I'm saying you shot in the air like it was 4th of July. Ha ha ha, yeehaw. And then the bullet came down and fucking hit Nikki for no reason.
No,
when
I
she was
just-
eating a fucking
Okay, fine.
rack of ribs,
Okay, fine.
minding her own fucking business.
Okay, I've gone to concerts, right? But none of those concerts pale in comparison to my mom having fucking Rick James and Tina Marie sing to her on her birthday. Like, what the fuck am I going to say that? My mom went to a Prince concert.
Bro,
a
what
Michael
the fuck
concert.
are you talking about, Kenny?
I'm saying those are generational divides I can't relate to. They can't relate to him on a certain level.
my fucking
So
God,
it doesn't fucking
bro.
matter what those
the
statements
fuck are
were.
you talking about?
I'm being pretty obvious. There are certain things generationally like we can't relate to. I can't relate to my mom going to see Michael Jackson live in concert. These dudes,
Are you saying that I couldn't relate to
Yeah,
USC
Kenny,
dynasty?
shut
Is that
up,
what you're
bro.
you weren't fucking there when Reggie Bush was diving in the end zone. You were like 2. You don't remember that. I don't remember that. I wasn't around when fucking Michael Jackson was doing concerts.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You can't relate to no USC dynasty either because you weren't alive either.
I'm
So
31.
What are you talking about?
I'm 31.
The difference is with music.
I was 7 when that shit was happening.
The difference is music transcends time.
Actually, no, I was 10. I was 10 when that shit went down. I was 10 or 11. I was coming of age.
I was talking about one.
All right.
You're taking this personal. It doesn't need to be personal.
All right. Like I was saying, the difference is music transcends time. Music can mean different things to different people in
Explain that
different
to the
generations.
kids listening to Key Glock and they don't know who Prince is.
Okay,
Go
well,
ask
they
them
need
this-
to be educated and listen to it. It's not that they
Okay, but you
won't
didn't
like
live
it.
in that moment.
It's not like they won't like it or won't relate to it. They
Yeah.
just need to be exposed to it.
But you can't say like, "Hey, you were alive. You were in the streets when
my
Purple Rain dropped."
middle brother listens to all that shit. He listens to Young NBA Boy, and he also listens to Michael Jackson.
NBA Young Boy,
whatever.
Say his name right.
He listens to all that shit. That's what I'm saying. It's like,
but
music transcends.
You
that.
and I weren't around.
Sport is different. Sport is different because it's like
it happens in that moment.
It's a time capsule. Yeah, it happens in that moment.
But so are concerts.
If you experience it, you remember where you were in that time.
Thriller was a time capsule too. We weren't fucking around when it came out.
But what
but
I'm
we
saying
still dance
is,
to it. I agree.
But what I'm saying is, music transcends that. It's that, and you can also find meaning in it without touching it
Without being
directly
there.
in that time. Sports aren't the same. They're a time capsule of like you either were there in the wave and you were part of the 50,000 people in that, or you were part of the 5 million people watching it,
or you weren't born.
Or you weren't. Like that's it, and that's what makes sports special.
That's all I was saying.
It's different. One's more inclusive and one's more exclusive. Like
No, it's not inclusive.
but they have
It's
different.
either
They have
weren't.
different values.
That's all I was saying.
But they
pretty
both
much.
have value. It's just they're one's on one side of the spectrum, one's on the other.
I mean, them kids don't know nothing about the Madden mini camp days. That's all I'm saying. Some of them
All right.
probably don't.
All I was gonna say about this is one: athlete wives podcasts are nasty in general. Like this whole idea of listening to a wives athletes podcast to find some like newsworthy shit that you're gonna aggregate, blog about, share on the weekend news is nasty, right? Like it's kind of bringing this Venn diagram of reality TV and like Hard Knocks together. Like, oh, we want to go behind the scenes, but like we also want the like nasty pillow talk drama. And like we've seen this kind of like nastiness with like Steph and his wife of like you're listening to these podcasts to get like dirty, raunchy pillow talk shit that the athletes will never say. But then like when it happens, we're all like surprised by it and we all kind of like make it novel. But it's like, bro, like, and then to Kenny's point, like, yeah, no shit. Obviously, like anybody living in this time can tell you there's a segment in generations between those who remember the days of going outside and those who grew up with a fucking iPad. Like that's common knowledge. And the fact of the matter is, like, where the fuck was Matt Stafford last year? Like, he was not in the public eye at all. Maybe he was around the organization. I don't know. They won't give me credentials. I wasn't around. But what I'm saying is, I didn't see him that often. He wasn't as visible as he is now, and neither was his wife. So maybe that's where the disconnect is. Or it could also be because the whole Stafford, Rams, McVay thing has been a fucking premature ejaculation. You guys did what you were supposed to do and won a Super Bowl in the first year, and now you guys don't know what the fuck you're doing. Maybe that's where the disconnect is, Matt. That's all I wanted to say about that.
And you know that one chick who
And it
turned out
probably
to-
doesn't help that you're just fucking hanging out with McVay and doing crazy shit anyways. Like, I'm pretty sure Tutu Atwell is not going to just want to kick it with you when he knows you're the coach's boy. CC winning time.
Spencer Haywood pulling cocaine out his boot.
No, I'm just talking about how they've dramatized like the whole divide between like Magic and as a young player versus the veteran team because he was so in cahoots with Jerry Buss.
He also did something that no rookie has ever fucking done in sports history either. So, I mean, you show up in in the NBA Finals and play the way he did. Yeah, the owner's gonna be like, yeah, he's my guy.
But that's the thing. That's what the owner did something unprecedented too. So that's why they had a bond. But regardless of why they did, the fact of the matter is, teammates felt some sort of way, and I'm pretty sure that's what's happening there as well. Like, there's a bunch of different reasons why there's a disconnect, is what I'm saying.
Same thing.
So I don't know why we're acting like it's so surprising.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Stafford's a better teammate than Braun is.
I guess it's just surprising because the athlete's wife said it. But again, that goes to my original point of like, well, what the fuck are you listening to an athlete's wife's podcast?
I mean, Miko Grimes was talking that shit for years with her husband, for her husband. So, I mean, are we shocked when wives finally have something to say? Like, you talk about how many times do we talk about wives just being Stepford, placeholders with no brains, and those comments and sentiments are real.
Let's move on. We were over 2.
Yeah.
Wait, what? Girl.
Okay.
We're over 2 hours.
I'll explain it to you off the air.
We still got like 5 more bullets, and we still got our rants. So next.
Okay. Thomas says he missed so much time because his body rejected surgeries.
Sad.
Wait, rejected what?
Hardware for multiple surgeries.
Like plating and
screws
like
and
whatever.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just sad. I don't really have a take or a tangent. It's just sad.
Hey, man, surgery sucks.
After the guy, I feel like what the media did was just make, dog on him and make tons of fun of him. And,
well, before he got hurt, all he did was run slant routes. Those are just like, we can pull up the tape. Most of his routes were slants. So, but also, yeah, foot injury for a big dude sucks. It's like, foot injuries are fucking awful because you're really never the same. You just try to get back to some level of normalcy, but you don't really find it. You just know how to deal with the pain when it comes and when it goes.
A lot of things about him this last season, and struggling. So,
I mean, he plays in Louisiana, and he's been like really, really highly compensated. So I can't feel that bad for him.
He, in terms of contract, he made it out like a bandit better than almost anybody. He got Mike Conley type money. If you look at his position,
like that, but like these, I mean, it's not like these boys don't want to play football. It's not like they're not passionate.
Oh yeah, I mean,
we all are. What does that have to do with anything?
He always brings up, they got paid, like they got this, but like a lot of them, like it's not about the money, Like for Michael Thomas, for example,
I feel more bad for.
It was about the money when he wasn't getting paid in college.
I feel more bad for the intern in Louisiana making $8 an hour than I do for
working on game days.
Michael Thomas
with no per diem.
But it is still sad. I mean, it is still sad for sure because he was at one point in the top 3 receiver conversation, and now we just don't know because he hasn't played in 3 years, and he's going to have a completely different quarterback and coach and system. So,
he might not even be the number 1 receiver on the team anymore.
So yeah,
he on some Marcus Colston type shit.
It's sad, but I also don't feel bad for him because that's just the way the cookie crumbles, especially in this game. I mean, I'm sad.
I mean, you're talking to Pete here. You're talking to Pete here. You got to take that with a grain of salt. Pete's not a sympathetic person. He can feel sorry for a situation, but he's not gonna like pity you.
Like, if they cut him, then yeah, I would have a little bit more sympathy and be like, yeah, you should have given him another chance, another year. But like, I don't feel
Well,
that bad for him. He's been highly
all right,
compensated.
we'll see. Hopefully he'll prove himself. We'll see. But closing out Taker Tangent, we got 19-year NBA vet referee Eric Lewis retires amid NBA social media investigation because they found like a burner Twitter account of him like defending other NBA referees or something.
I don't know how I feel about this one. This one was a weird one. I feel like it doesn't really matter, but it was also easier for them and him to just be like, walk away, bro. Like, you're a referee. Nobody cares about you. Like, let's not make you into a story. Like, let's just rest on your 20-year career and call it a day. His infamy is the whole Boston call against the Lakers, which Laker fans reminded me of on Twitter all week. He's not Donaghy.
Yeah.
Donaghy still gets a ex-NBA referee title on Netflix documentaries when it should be disgraced NBA referee Tim Donaghy. I'm just saying there's a difference between dishonorable discharge and dishonorable discharge with honorable terms.
Military jargon. I mean, yeah.
I know too many military screw-ups in my life. What could I say? All right, last one.
Oh, excuse me. Yeah, there is one more. Mike Evans' last dance.
Yes. So I don't know if you saw this one, but it just came out. Basically, Mike Evans and the Bucs have agreed to part ways after this year.
What the fuck?
So it'll pretty much be his last season as Buccaneer. Take your tangent, Nikki.
Wait, what the fuck?
I mean, I don't know. I don't have much of an opinion.
That's your
Like,
guy.
I think it all kind of
Playing with your other guy.
I think it rides a
Playing
lot
in a city that you probably have lived in or visited or have family in.
I'm shook.
Unfortunately, my mom lives in Tampa Bay.
So there you go. That's why I want your take or your tangent on it.
You're in clear. Well, I think a lot of it, it's hard to say now. I think it depends on his performance this season. Because
whether he'll be a Texan or a Patriot next year?
Oh, yeah. Like, we'll stop.
Good year, he'll be a Patriot. Bad year, he'll be a Titan.
Oh, he'll be a Raider.
Sorry, go ahead. I'll cut you off.
I don't know. I think it's just not a common situation where they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna let you play out one more year and then get rid of you. Like, he could have theoretically, in a blue moon, he could have the best year of his career. And then
I think it's more of a
it's just, I don't know.
I think it's more of a situation of like, hey, my deal's coming up. Can we talk about an extension? Well, Mike, you're getting up there in age. Our team's changing. You kind of had a bit of a down year last year. We still love you, but like, let's just see after this year, and we can come back to the table and talk. And then Mike Evans goes, well, look, I've given you guys X amount of years of my life. I've been through X amount of QB changes, X amount of head coaching changes, and well, I appreciate you guys being honest and whatever. Like, I think it's best if we just go our separate ways if you're not willing to give me an extension after everything that I've given you. And they say, okay, we understand. That's amicable. That's professional. Like, I think that's cool. Like, that's how it should be.
It's definitely ideal for parting ways for sure, especially giving him like kind of so much notice, I guess, and just whatever.
Well, especially because he helped bring a Super Bowl, right? Because he's one of the reasons why Tom even went there.
Well, yeah, I guess
he was a big part of it.
I think Arians, to be honest.
It's mostly him and Chris Godwin.
I would give more of the blame pie to the big receivers they had.
Bruce Arians was like
Dog.
Tom came in and was like, "My deal. I'm going to do like this is good. This is my team. That I'm basically gonna run." And then Bruce was like, "Cool,
Dog.
that's cool."
Dog.
And like
Dog. You're really gonna sit here and tell me
history.
You're really gonna sit here and tell me that after everything Brady went through for damn near 20 years in New England, he picked his next job because of the coach? In no way did he do that.
No, because of the lack of
any coach would have given him the keys. It doesn't matter. Gruden would have given him the keys. Yeah. It doesn't matter.
Like, gave him his social security number.
All due respect to Bruce Arians, because I like Bruce Arians as a coach, as a person, as everything. Like Bruce Arians
is very open about that, saying that he pretty much let Tom do whatever he wanted, and that's like partly why Tom came, was because Tom made it very clear his intentions, and Bruce was like, "Cool."
Anybody would have did that, though. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
That's why him and Leftwich got along so great.
Just have big heads. Egos and way too much of a big head for something like that.
Not for the GOAT who literally brought a championship with him.
I mean, not trying to be that bitch, but like half of the reason that he brought that championship was because everyone.
This was totally unprecedented. We never seen a guy be one place like that and then go somewhere else and win like that. Like, that was unprecedented.
I know, because everyone followed him into Tampa Bay.
But what I'm saying is Bruce Arians wasn't catching those passes. Mike Evans was. And Mike Evans was a top 3 receiver before, even with Jameis. He was a top 3, top 5 receiver. Remember Jameis had 30 and 30?
Well, I mean, when Jameis...
That was the whole thing, though, was they had Jameis, and they were, 8-8, and he threw 30 and 30, and they were saying, well, if we get Tom, and he still throws 30 and throws half of those interceptions, then we win 2 games and at least get in the playoffs, and we know what Tom does in the playoffs. That was the whole hypothesis.
Right.
That's why Bruce handed over the keys, and it worked. What I'm saying is, that would have never happened without Mike Evans.
And Chris Godwin.
As much as
and Gronk.
I think you're overstating all in Tom's decision. Because Tom could have went a lot of places with elite receivers.
He has 9 1,000-yard receiving seasons.
I think
he has almost 11,000 yards receiving for his career and 81 touchdowns.
He's already in the Hall of Fame conversation.
People were already
those are Hall of Fame numbers.
People were saying he was overrated coming out of college and he was slow. People were saying Sammy Watkins was a better prospect than him. People were like taking Kelvin Benjamin over him.
I am a Mike Evans enjoyer. I'm a Mike Evans supporter.
That's why I don't know why you're just discounting.
You ain't got a jersey. You ain't got a jersey in your house. Don't lie.
I have a closet. I don't have a problem. I'm an enjoyer. Like, I'm on his side.
You're just a Tom Brady side taker.
I think it's just a statement saying that, like, Tom Brady came to the Bucs because of Mike Evans.
I didn't say just because of him. I'm saying that's probably
a huge part,
bigger part than any of the other parts.
Who am I throwing to?
A part. Is what I'm saying.
Didn't he set an NFL record for like completions and attempts in the season?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that.
Didn't he almost break the yardage record? Passing yards?
I'm sorry, when did Tom Brady have a Mike Evans in New England?
When?
Yeah, when did he have a Mike Evans?
When did he have a alpha type receiver?
Anything close to Mike Evans.
Here it comes. Here it
Tom
comes.
Brady makes careers matter, I don't think.
I'm telling you, he was already a Pro Bowl, All Pro,
borderline Hall of Famer
before Tom got there.
MVPs out of
Oh God.
7th round Kent State quarterback.
Exactly. So why would you not go somewhere that already has something
dropped hella
that's
passes.
better than what you already have?
She really can't say
What
it.
I'm saying is like Tom Brady elevates the talent around him, so it's not like he needed to go to a place to carry him.
He didn't
That wasn't
elevate.
his intention.
He didn't elevate Mike Evans. He just got Mike Evans the ball. He didn't elevate him. He was already a great player.
We're all agreeing.
To
Like,
your point, yes.
it's just,
He got the ball to Tyler Johnson. He got the ball to Rashad Bateman. He got the ball to the second tight
Rashad
end.
Bateman. Cameron Brate, Rob Gronkowski.
No, Bateman was there that first year. He had 800 yards. He was their fourth receiver.
Rashad Bateman was a first round pick for the Ravens.
Yes, and he was with the Bucs.
No, he was
the
not.
Super Bowl year. Yes, he was.
Tyler Johnson played in Minnesota.
Bro,
two
they
different
were
people.
both on those teams. They were both on those
they
teams. They were the
weren't.
third and fourth receiver.
No, they weren't, dude. Bateman was a first round pick. He stayed an extra year in college. He was a first round pick for the
Go look it
Baltimore
up,
Ravens.
Kenny. Go look it up. Jesus, man. This dude never believes me.
You got the names mixed up.
I probably did. The dude who just got cut last week. He just got cut last week.
Tyler Johnson?
Well, he also got cut, but yeah. The dude who ran a 4.3 and was a bust in Baltimore.
You're thinking Rashad Perryman.
There you go, Perryman.
That's a totally different guy.
My bad.
But yeah, he also was playing. He played for the Ravens.
Yes, and he had 800 yards that year. So to Nikki's point,
I don't know how the fuck. he did
yeah,
that.
he was spreading the ball around and doing Tom Brady things. That and also
he had Gronk.
Yeah, Mike Evans
and
he got Gronk.
Gronk was running pretty much virtually undouble teamed because you had Chris Godwin and Mike Evans putting in work.
He honestly never even had a Chris Godwin in New England.
Never, because Chris Godwin ran a 4.4.
You slided him, but it's all good.
I did slide him. Penn State receivers don't have a great track record.
All right, hurry up. We're going to speed through this. Fair or fade, Steve Wilkes testified that a team executive gave him a burner phone to communicate with the general manager, Steve Keim. Keim and team owner. Yeah, basically Steve Wilkes pretty much had to communicate with the owner and GM. So fair or fade, Kenny?
I mean, more is going to come out, so clearly the fade continues.
Yeah, just imagine, like, it's just nasty work. Like, why are you communicating? Why can't we communicate on WhatsApp? Why we got to use burner phone?
Why are we talking to each other like
Why
drug
can't we
dealers?
use Signal, bro?
Why are we talking
Why
to each
can't
other?
we use Telegram?
Can we go back to GroupMe?
Let's use Kick.
Can we go back to Snap?
All right. Aaron Rodgers, in a viral clip, told Giants linebacker, pass rusher, Jihad Ward, quote, "I don't even know who you are, bro."
I genuinely think he means that.
And that was during the preseason game. Basically, Ward bumped into Rodgers at like 5 seconds after he threw the ball.
On purpose. He hit him on purpose.
And then Ward tried to hit him. "I don't even know who you are."
He's
And
like,
Rodgers
"That's bullshit,
said
you know."
bullshit.
Which it is.
So, yeah, fair or fade?
That's total fair. That's totally fair. That's why he threw a touchdown and he didn't get a sack. And then when Mekhi Becton walked over there, Jihad Ward, he's like, "Bro, you're not going against the Raiders' offensive tackles."
I think Ward was trying to say that Rodgers was like laughing at his teammate's injury or something, though. But I think that's cap.
Oh, yeah, he did come out and say that.
He said that's bullshit, too.
Honestly, I think it's a fade that I even know who Jihad Ward is because he's a bust out of the second round for the Raiders.
That's a bust.
Yeah.
That was a bad pick from the get-go.
Yeah.
Nobody would have picked him over Derrick Henry.
But yeah, I mean, at least he's
would've
made
had-
himself a career in the league, which is more than half the Raiders' other second round picks could say.
More better than Cleveland Farrell.
I don't know, man. Let's see what Cleveland does with the fucking stacked D line.
He definitely has more sacks than Cleveland Farrell.
It worked with fucking Arden Key.
Did it?
Yeah, remember? Yeah.
Where did he get a fat contract to? Was it the Jags? He got a fat contract somewhere.
He's in Jacksonville now, I think. Or was he in Jacksonville and then went to the Niners and then went somewhere else? Is he in Houston?
No, I don't think he's in Houston.
He's in one of those 3-4 teams.
He got a fat contract somewhere.
Yeah, I think I think the funnier clip was the Randall Cobb clip, the one where there was basically a ball carrier running downfield and Cobb came and earholed someone behind the ball, and Rodgers was like, "What the fuck are you doing?" He's like, my bad, bro. Like, I just kind of blacked out. He was like, "This ain't 2014 no more, bro. You can't do that shit no more." Like, that shit had me crying, bro, because
he probably did, but he's like, fuck it, I'm not even supposed to be in the league right now.
I'm not even supposed to be on the field right now, bro. The fuck you guys playing preseason week 2? 18-year vets.
I'm taking skulls, motherfucker. I'm taking skulls.
Why else would I not be out there?
This is for Jordy. This is for Greg. This is for this is for Jermichael Finley, you motherfuckers.
All right. And lastly, the NFL is teaming up with USC. They basically wrote a letter to some government officials basically saying that pirate streaming, all those illegal websites are really hurting their business and their revenues, and something needs to be done. So fair or fade? Pretty much. I know Kenny's going to recluse himself from this, but I'll just say this, bro. How about you make a better fucking product than NFL Plus and then worry about your fucking revenues? How about you look at the check that just cleared from YouTube for Sunday Ticket and shut the fuck up, bro? Like, chill. God, if I want to watch a fucking game on a 3-minute delay for free, then fuck me, all right? I'm not going to look at Twitter or my fantasy apps because guess what? They're going to fuck up my watching experience. But you know what? I'm willing to sacrifice that. I'm willing to watch some fucking dancing cat at halftime just because you black out the fucking Raiders in LA and I have to either watch the Chargers or the Rams, all right? So fuck you.
I got one last.
The Cat Jam streams.
Stream East. They always have they always have some dancing cat at halftime.
It's called Cat.
No,
Like the little
why is this show? This show is bookend by cats. I'm actually impressed.
All right, rants. Let's go. Let's keep this to a minute.
All right. Very heavily emotional week for me. Shout out to the fam. So I just want to point out, it's kind of funny how Deion Sanders came out and said that people were asking about like him being from Florida State. He says, I'm an HBCU graduate. And then Danny Cannell was like, bro, they retired your number at Florida State. Like, don't sit up there and like do that and be hateful. And then Deion Sanders went back at Danny Cannell. I'm just saying this TCU Colorado game is gonna dictate a lot. It's gonna say a lot. It's gonna be real interesting. Might even be the game of the weekend because if Colorado gets their shit pushed in, like if TCU does to Colorado what Georgia did to them, it's gonna be insane. And all the Jackson State people who don't like Deion are already gonna have more to say. But if Prime comes out and they beat the dog shit out of TCU, there might be a new sheriff in town.
It's only going to get louder.
So there might be a new sheriff in town. It's only going to get louder. Totally forgot what I was originally going to rant on. So I was ended there.
I think that's good for now, man.
Protect Vince Staples at all costs.
Wow. That was like an OG rant. That's like how they're supposed to be. All right, Nikki, you want to go?
Yeah. As much as I dislike TCU, like, am I gonna kind of like be rooting for them? I don't know. I almost feel inclined because I'd love to just see the smart.
Root for your Big 12 stepchild.
I mean, like I said, it's just as a Big 12 fan, quote unquote, I aren't higher than thou attitude.
But that's what I'm saying. That's why you can root for Colorado because they're not technically in the Big 12 right now. But
no, I'm saying
they were in the Big 12 and they're going back to the Big 12.
I'm just plotting.
And TCU's a Christian school, literally.
Yeah. I said for a Christian, Baylor and TCU both, They play dirty. They don't act very godlike, very Christ-like whatsoever. It's crazy. Like for religious schools, like they don't act it. It's crazy. But
almost as bad as being
anyway.
an agriculture school and habitually treating animals like shit. You got it. It took you a little bit, but you got it. You connected the dots. Woo!
In the state things. Anyways, yeah, I don't really have anything to say. I was told that I'd be getting a notification by the end of this week and the end of the week. So I guess I'll figure it out tomorrow. Fingers crossed.
I just found out one of my high school teammates works for them.
Positive fucking vibes your way.
He's account executive
Send me
there.
all the
You got it. You already got it. I'm claiming it for you.
I've been working on it this week. I'm going to be at the USC. Fortunately, they're trying to get me to come in at 6:30 in the morning. They would literally have to get up before the ass crack of dawn to show up for what? Nevada? Crazy. But yeah.
You already know me. I'm credentialed for the whole season.
We'll both be suffering together.
At 12:30. I just want better press box food.
I'll be there before the sun rises, so yay.
Yay.
I'm gonna kill myself. All right.
I need you to not say that on a public live stream.
Games are only going to get earlier.
I mean, but against Nevada, a 3:30 kickoff, they want to. They just want to get.
They're only going to get earlier.
They want to get the fuck out of there, bro. That's why they're doing.
Wait till they have a fucking 12 p.m. kick time.
No, wait till there's a 7.
Then you're gonna have to get there at 4.
A 10 a.m. kick time. No, you're gonna be there at fucking 2 in the morning.
Usually I wouldn't for 3:30 call time. I would have to show up, or excuse me, for 3:30 game I wouldn't have to show up to like 9 a.m. But the higher ups of my department are kind of very short staffed right now, and so they're calling me in to like do their jobs, but for like my amount of pay, which super super thankful for that. But they're calling me in extra early because they just don't have anyone else to call them that early. So, yay.
All right, well, I don't really have much to say other than I got to go get my tire fixed right now, so I got to go drive the IE. But other than that, it's been a slower week for me, which has been nice because I've been grinding like pretty much the whole month of August and parts of July, so it's nice to kind of kick it into a lower gear for a little bit. But yeah, Labor Day, we get that day off. Hopefully do something fun. And yeah, that's about it. Touchdowns and Tangents, TDs_Tangents, Twitter, Instagram, your favorite podcast app. You can catch us there. Catch Kenny at the game on Saturday. And yeah, football's next week. So good luck in your fantasy drafts and shit. Good luck to your teams and your bets and all that other good stuff.
And good luck
it's
to
finally
Nikki.
Fucking here.
Good luck to Nikki. You're gonna get that job.
All right, guys. Peace.
Yes, sir.
Peace.